Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today we've got a long-term review on my DVO Diamond Boost fork. I've had this since the beginning of the year. Rode all spring, summer on it until now. Got a couple races on this, a lot of bike park days, some 20 plus mile cross country days. So I just wanted to go over my impressions on the fork and how it performed for me. So going over the specs of the fork. So this particular one, again, is the Diamond Boost model, 29er version, 51 millimeter offset on the crown. You've got a lot of adjustability in this fork. So starting with this side, we have your high speed and low speed compression. You've got the air on this side. This is an air sprung fork, but it is kind of a hybrid because it does have a coil negative spring. And so what the coil negative spring does is basically it kind of preloads the forces that allow the fork to compress. So some of them are done by air, some of them done by the spring, which is what this one does, and they call it their off-the-top tuning. So what that does is basically you can tune how sensitive the beginning stroke of this is, or you tune it based off of your riding weight. Which is a really cool feature because if you get it right, this does become like one of the most supple forks you'll ever try. Beyond that, you've got your rebound, the quick release skewer. Another note, this is EDC tool compatible, so I run the EDC top steer tube tool. So if you have one of those, this will tap in and store your tool just fine. So another neat feature about this fork is it comes with this very solidly constructed molded mud guard. So there's a couple bolts on the back and it basically just comes in, slots right in, and voila. It does seem a little bit short, but actually it functions really well. It doesn't interfere a lot if you are storing the bike on a tailgate, so it works really well there. It makes for a really cool, just kind of solid look. So really one of my favorite features, and probably one of the least expensive features on this particular fork. So how did the fork perform? I would say from a small bump standpoint, this is probably one of the better ones that I've ridden, if not the best. Now the forks that I've ridden in the past is a 2016 Fox 36, I've had the 2015 Lyric, and I also had a 2018 Lyric, not the brand new RC2 version, but the one just before that with the Debonair spring and the Charger 2 damper. I would say from a small bump standpoint, this compared to my 2016 36 was much better, and I would say a lot better than even my 2015 Lyric, or the first of the revamped Lyric forks that they came out with a few years ago. From a mid-stroke support, I would say this is going to be a little bit stiffer than a Lyric or a Pike. It's not going to be as supportive as a Fox, but it's really close. So I would probably say it's a good kind of in the middle between there. End stroke and progressiveness, it's kind of deceiving. I would say, you can't tune the end stroke on this fork with spacers traditionally. You can do a little bit of volume tuning with oil if you want to gander at that. I never mess with that. It was just supportive enough for me. I'm about 210 pounds geared up. Ride and charge pretty hard, I would say, for myself. And you weren't necessarily bottoming out a whole lot, but I don't know if that's because it was just really hard to get that last 10 millimeters. But I would say I was using most of the stroke quite a bit of the time. So with no real volume tuning, I would say this could fall short on a Lyric and 36 or other forks that have token type in stroke tuning, just based on how you like to set up the fork. Other noticeable things are it is quite a bit heavier, again with that off the top coil spring in there. Even comparing it by hand, you'll notice the weight. You don't really notice the weight too much on the bike. But it is, if you do count your grams and like to have the lightest bike, this is not going to be the fork for you. But honestly, riding the fork and whatever extra weight that it provides, you're not going to really notice that too much on the bike. If it's kind of just a numbers thing for you, you know, this may not be the fork for you. So overall, I really enjoyed this fork. Some downsides to it, again, I would say would be the weight. The volume tuning is very limited. I didn't particularly find the seals maybe to be as good as other ones. Not that they were giving me trouble. I just always found that it was really damp around the seals, quite a bit more than maybe like a Fox or a Lyric that I've had in the past. So could be the design, how it's designed, because it never really caused an issue, but it was just there noticeable and something that I wanted to know and let you guys know. From a stiffness standpoint, I would say I could not discern any noticeable difference in stiffness compared to like a Lyric or a 36. Deflection was very limited. So in that regard, I would say it's overall, it's going to be, you know, probably just as stiff as anything else, you know, you're going to have out there. So if you do opt to get the green version, I don't know if you can see, it is not just like a solid green, it's actually kind of like a metallic green, which is really cool. When it's really bright on a sunny day, it really pops. So if the green is your fancy, I think you'll really be impressed with the fit and finish of the fork. So overall, I give this a really solid recommend. Really enjoyed riding this fork. If you're interested in buying one, I've worked out a coupon with DVO directly from their web store. So if you're looking at a suspension product or a soft good product, you can use the coupon code Vicariously, and it'll be good for 15% off a suspension product. So that can be a fork, it can be a shock, it can be a soft good item. So yeah, so if you're interested in that, just go ahead and use that coupon and use that coupon code. If it doesn't work, let me know or let DVO know, and we'll try and get to the bottom of it, but it's active and good to go. So yeah, so there's that for you guys. So if you have any questions on the fork itself, you know, maybe more complex questions or anything like that, shoot me a question in the comments field. I'll be happy to get back to you on that. But thanks for hanging out with this video, and we'll see you next time.